Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it.
Hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, and I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned! Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl. I am on my way to record store day. It is 7:30 a.m. and Johnny Burnett is on the radio with Dreamin'. It's a good way to start off the morning, and I've got my mask and coffee, and I'm all ready to rock and roll. So happy oldies morning to you all, and I will see you when we get there. Bye for now. Okay guys, we're pulling into Young, Loud, and Snotty here. We're going to see what's up, how many people are here. The lot looks fairly empty, which is cool. There's a lady there, so I think this is going to work out well for social distancing. And we're going to find out. They said they do drive up. Now there's already people paying, so they were here a little bit earlier. But we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Hi guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And I do have a bonus video for you this week on my YouTube page because today is record store day. I've been anticipating this day for weeks. Very excited that it all worked out just beautifully. I couldn't have asked for a safer, more fun day, and that is all in big thanks to Young, Loud, and Snotty out at Neptune Beach. I mean, they had this plan to a T, and they really made it accessible for people like me who are immune compromised. They made it easy for me to get records and to feel safe while I was doing it. They had these great time slots where you could sign up online, pick a time slot that you wanted, go at that time slot where there was only going to be 10 people. They had hand sanitizer at the door. Everybody had to have their masks on, and of course social distancing was in place. And the nice thing is for me, since I didn't even want to go in, they brought the records to my car. I called, I showed them my ticket, I said I'm here out in my car, and they immediately recognized me from the other day when I called and asked them, you know, their plan and all that, and they said, oh yes, we have Elton John and Sun blues record, and we'll bring that out to your car. So I was very happy. It worked out extremely well, and I just couldn't be more thrilled about the whole day. So thank you, Young, Loud, and Snotty, for being awesome and protecting your customers today. Now I hope you all got what you wanted. I got everything on my list, but I know there's some people that are probably still hunting online for what they wanted. So good luck to you all out there if you didn't get it. And I can't wait to hear from you in the comments what you bought and what you're still looking for. So drop me a line and I'll get back with you. Now after I bought these records this morning, I was there at 8 a.m. when the store opens, which was my time slot. I was lucky enough to get the first time slot and the whole lot of time slots for the day, which is good because I was guaranteed to probably get what I wanted. I did a live Instagram video showcasing these records for you on my Instagram feed, so you can go to vintage_and_vinyl. I will link it down below, and you guys can check that video out if you missed it, live from the parking lot of Young, Loud, and Snotty. Now I also did a picture kind of mixed with some audio clips of these records spinning round on my turntable, and I did an up-close picture of the translucent smoke purple vinyl on the Elton John album, because oh my gosh guys, is it fantastic. When the light hits it, it just illuminates. It's so cool, and you can really see that smoke design inside the vinyl, which you probably won't be able to see here on camera, but you can on my Instagram. So let's go ahead and jump into the two vinyls I picked up. The first one is the Elton John self-titled album, and the second one is Sun, the Sunrise of the Blues. Now the Elton John album was really neat to me because I absolutely love Elton John. It's not the 50s stuff that I usually show on my channel, but I do love Elton John, and this is his self-titled album, and it is coming out in celebration of 50 years of his first UK release album, as well as 50 years since his famous concert at the Troubadour, which really helped to put him on the map. And there were over 300
people at that concert, including a lot of really, really great stars, such as, I wanted to share this with you because I thought it was so incredibly cool. I had never really looked into this before, but of course I knew of the concert. But there were some great artists, including Quincy Jones, Peggy Limpton, Lily... Guys, I have been up since 6 this morning, and suddenly I can't talk. But Linda Ronstadt was there, Brian Wilson, Van Dyke Parks, Neil Diamond, and the Los Angeles Times critic Robert Hilburn, and he gave a fantastic review of the show, and of course that helped get Elton John's career right on the way to success. And now, of course, everyone knows Elton John and Bernie Taupin, so this is just fantastic. And I did have some concerns about how it would sound, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth to that in just a minute, because some of the tracks on this were from a digital recording, and some of them were from a remastered recording of another vinyl release that came out in 2016 of the same album. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but first I just want to talk about the packaging and a little history of the album, which I just shared with you. Now, this album is a Record Store Day exclusive, meaning that you can only get it today, and there's only 7,000 copies of it. Now, what I mean by only get it today is sometimes records that are released on Record Store Day, you can maybe get them because they will have another pressing at another time. Record Store Day exclusives usually never do. I've never seen them have that, so this is kind of a one-time deal. And of course, after the fact, they'll be online, or if there was a bunch of them and they didn't sell, they might be in a bin somewhere waiting for you to find them. So if you didn't get a chance to pick it up, again, there were 7,000 copies, so it shouldn't be terrible to find. It's not like in previous years where there were only 500 copies of something. So they've definitely broadened the amount of production on some of these records as Record Store Day has gone along over the years. So this is the Elton John self-titled album. I love how thick this album is. It's very hefty. It's not chintzy. I really, really like that. I love the album art on it. You see Elton John and Bernie Taupin in the middle here. And then here on this little corner, they do talk about who mastered it, which is nice because not all albums do that. And you can look more into the guy who mastered it and learn more about that if you would like. Bob Ludwig at Gateway Mastering, Portland, Maine, mastered this album, and the vinyl mastering was also done by Sean Menenge at Abbey Road Studios in London. Of course, it says this is a 2020 release for Record Store Day exclusive, and then it's made in Germany, which is interesting. But that's very cool. So you've got that right there, and then Elton John on the front. Now, this is kind of neat, and this is what I really liked. This double gatefold here doesn't have your typical pictures of the artist or the band. This has lyrics, which I really like, because there is something to me about having something physical in your hand while you've dropped that needle. After you've dropped that needle and you're sitting on your couch and you're letting the music fill the room, and you've got this album jacket in your hand, and you're just reading through the back and everything in it. And I think that's really a magical experience. I love having the music on while I'm reading the lyrics. It just brings the whole experience alive for me, and that is what I thought was really neat about this. And they give a nice big shout out at the bottom also to Bernie Taupin, who we all know is Elton John's famous songwriter who writes some amazing lyrics. So now the inside comes, it's a double LP, and it comes with 2 LPs. And what's really kind of nice, and this is something most people probably don't think much about, but the inner sleeves, I really like when they have nice inner sleeves. Most records have those little cheap paper inner sleeves, which really do not do anything for your record. In fact, I think they damage them more than they do any good. Because the paper can scratch them, they can get static buildup. It's just not good at all. And what I really, really like is that you get this nice inner sleeve. So this is really fantastic. It's the quality of my Mobile Fidelity sleeves, which I do buy. Not sponsored by them, but I love Mobile Fidelity inner sleeves. And this has a really, really nice quality to it. So that is just adding to the experience of the really lovely packaging. Now the color of each vinyl is this purple translucent vinyl, and it will not show up on camera, guys, but there is a smoke quality to this, meaning that there's like this kind of, it's not swirl, but it's got this like smoky gray kind of design through the inside of the translucent vinyl, and it's just really cool. So I love the color choice here. I think the purple and black's really nice together. It's just overall a great design of the album jacket and the vinyl itself. Now this does not say that it's 180 gram vinyl, and we can argue whether or not that's audiophile quality or not on another video. That's a discussion for another day. But this does feel very thick and nice to me, so this won't be as prone to warping and other issues. It's just a very nice quality vinyl that you don't often see, so I really appreciate that. Now I do want to show you the other vinyl as well. It is exactly the same, other than the paper label and the center's different because the songs are different, but this is just a very, very cool album. And I have mentioned to you probably before, but I do not have an original copy of the Elton John self-titled album, so I'm very excited to add this to my Elton John collection. And one day I will get an original copy and then I can compare the two. But for now, this is what I have, and I am mighty impressed. When I pulled this out of the cellophane this morning, I was just over the moon. I was already impressed with the packaging. And you also get what I would call a poster. Now this doesn't unfold, so you might argue with me there, but this has got Elton John, the album art on it, and then on the back it has your track list, and then on the bottom what's really extra nice is they took the time to tell you where each song is coming from. So the last two songs on LP2 are from a digital recording, and then side 1 and side 2 of LP1 are all the remastered recordings from the 2016 Elton John released vinyl. So that is that, and then they tell you a little bit more, like there's some piano demos on here as well from the 1990s. So that is really cool. They tell you where it's coming from. Usually you don't get that, and it's a little frustrating because obviously most people would like to know. So I like that feature. Now let's talk about how the music sounded. That was my biggest concern when I was looking at this album. Usually when you see things like remastered or a digital recording, it's kind of a little bit of a hesitation for most vinyl people because we're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to sound good. Mastering is done right. The sound mixing people know what they're doing. It can sound good, or it can sound like complete junk, garbage, and you never really know. So this is a gamble, but I have to say, LP1, the side that has the remastered, sounds fantastic. I have heard the original Elton John self-titled album in a record store before, and this sounds to me just like it. I'm pleased. There's no issues. It's not muddy. It doesn't sound weird. There's not any issues in my opinion. I'm very, very pleased. Now, side 2, I keep wanting to say side 2, but it's LP2, so it's the second LP in this 2 LP set, is what really blew me away. I have never heard my system sound this good, you guys. And I know I'm not crazy. I mean, I listened to this twice because I was just like, my socks just came flying off when I was sitting on the couch. I was amazed. But the piano demos are what really makes this album shine. I'm telling you guys that I could hear, specifically on song 2 of LP2 side 3, I Need You to Turn To. That song is what got me. I could hear Elton John breathing into the microphone. I could hear him pronouncing those P's really just hard and crisp in the microphone. I mean, it was like he was sitting at his piano in my living room playing a concert for me, which is obviously, when you hear a really good record, that's obviously how you want it to sound. And that's what vinyl, the magic of vinyl, that's how it can come to life. You can feel like you're in the recording studio with the artist. And today I got that experience and I was just thrilled. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was sharp, it was clear, it was detailed, everything you want in a vinyl. Totally was not disappointed. Now, where this album does fall short is the last two songs that were digitally recorded. They don't sound that great. You can definitely hear a difference between the piano demos and the last two songs, or side the first LP. There's just a difference. You can hear it, you have to listen to it. I can't really describe it, but there is a difference, and it's not a big deal. It's not something like, oh, I'm now gonna mark this album as complete trash. I'm not. This album is great. I can't speak highly enough of it, but I will warn you, those two songs are gonna be a little bit disappointing. And it's especially sad because those two are the ones that were like the bonus, never before heard songs, you know, that you're kind of interested in hearing. And I honestly had never heard of them either until today. But I wasn't as impressed, specifically with the last song on LP2, side 4, track 6. That is Rock and Roll Madonna. I was a little bit disappointed. Now, here's the reason why. It is a live recording. I don't know where the live recording came from. I'm not sure that they did this at the Troubadour. I'm pretty sure that's not a Troubadour song that was done on the set list then. So I don't know when this was recorded. That's the one thing it doesn't say, because I kind of like to track that down. But what's annoying is that the claps, cheers, screams from the audience just overwhelms Elton John's voice. All you hear when you hear that is just that loud, noisy concert environment. You do not really get to hear Elton John, and that to me is a disappointment, because with the piano demos and the other songs, you feel like it's just you and Elton John in the room, and there is something amazing about that. And then you get to that song and it's like, ugh, all this other noise, it just comes through your system and it's loud and it's aggravating. To me, I don't really like that song because of that. Now, the song itself is fine, but just beware of that. It does not knock this album down at all for me. I would definitely buy again. This is priced at $40 for Record Store Day, which is a little bit high for an album, I will admit that. I mean, most of you guys that collect newer vinyl are used to paying that on the daily. I mainly collect 50s stuff, so I'm used to paying more like $5 to $20. So you kind of see where I'm coming from with that. But to me, that $40 was worth it. The packaging is phenomenal. Again, I love the color of the vinyl. They really took time and thought in putting together the track list and adding some new things that I had never heard before. And it's just really great for an Elton John fan that wants a clean copy of the Elton John self-titled album. And really, what's a better way to support your record store? I mean, just go today and get this album, support your record store, and you have a great record. And even though this is coming out in one of the worst years ever, this is good because it's brightened this year. This is a bright spot in 2020, which is what we all need right now. So please go home, enjoy your vinyl today, and hopefully if you got Elton John, hopefully you'll be impressed like I was with this album, because guys, I can't hype this up enough, and I am not even sponsored. I just happen to love this album. So yay, good job for the Elton John album. It passes with flying colors. Now, let's talk about the Sun Blues album. This is another Record Store Day only release, so it's a Record Store Day exclusive. There were only 4,000 copies of this produced, which is not as much as the Elton John record, but it certainly isn't very limited. I mean, you know, you think about limited being like 200 to 500. So this was going to be fairly readily available, but I don't know how many stores were getting this. So I was just pleasantly surprised that our store had it. Now, I do something that most of you guys are probably already screaming at me through your TVs for, and this is I love to put the little Record Store Day sticker on the outside of the album jacket. I know you guys are like, but that's ruining it. I'm not reselling this. I like this album. I am keeping this for my own collection, and I don't really care that the sticker's on there. I actually like it because it reminds me of how many copies it was when it came out and all of that kind of stuff. So I like the sticker. Let me be. Sue me. I don't care. I like the sticker. So this is the little sticker that came out on the cellophane. This is Sun, the Blues, Sunrise on the Blues album. And this is Sun music from the vaults. So this is from 1950 to 1956 blues music that was in the Sun vaults. And what's kind of cool about the Sun label is not only is it known for its rhythm and blues, which is where it got its start, it also jump-started a lot of big careers like Elvis Presley. So the Sun label is very famous, very well known, and very good label to collect. So I kind of enjoy having this. And, you know, I'm not a big blues person. I mean, I don't know a lot about it. I love all music for the most part. And I always love music history. And one thing I love is that with early rock and roll, you see a lot of influence of blues music. And, of course, country, you do get that. But I just love music history, and I would love to delve a little further into blues because I love how that has influenced people like Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, that kind of thing. So I'm just really in love with learning and discovering new music. So this is great. I also was interested in it because there was one song that I was actually familiar with. I love Little Junior's Blue Flames, and he had a song on here from 1953 called Mystery Train. So I was very excited to get this on vinyl. Now I know this is a compilation album, but still very excited. A lot of these Sun records can be kind of expensive on 45s to get. And then some of them, I think, earlier than that, some of these blues artists are on 78s, which I don't even have a way to play 78. So this is a really great album for people who are wanting to get into blues and don't want to spend a lot of money, because this was $12. Super reasonable. So even if it didn't sound good, which sneak peek it does, it would be worth it. I mean, for $12. Very cool. So the inside has this really unique sleeve insert, paper insert. And this is where the record came, but I have already taken it out of the paper sleeve and put it into one of my high fidelity sleeves because that is what I do. But this is Tito's Vodka, and I guess that they sponsored this. I think this is their kind of project that they do for Record Store Day, and you can see the microphone there on the Tito's bottle, which I think is a really cool graphic, so I kind of like that. It says Tito's Handmade Vodka, supporting record stores everywhere from Austin, Texas. And then it has this note on the back which says, every year the Record Store Day compilation brings tracks from the Sun archives to turntables everywhere to celebrate favorites, introduce tunes that many may have missed the first time around, and to shine a spotlight on music history. This volume, bringing us some blues, is no exception and is a lesson in just how much fun it is to throw it way, way back to the roots of what we listen to today. We're honored to be a part of this annual collaboration, now in its 7th year. Big thanks go out to Sun Records, ORG Music, Record Store Day, and all the independent music stores out there for including us. Cheers, the Tito's Handmade Vodka family. So I think ORG Music worked with Sun and Record Store Day and Tito's Handmade Vodka for putting this on. So this is cool. 7 years they've been doing this, so I will have to see if I can get other volumes of this on Discogs, because that's interesting. I've never seen it before. And it might have been on the list and I missed it. Because, you know, sometimes the list puts out something and it will just say various artists, and you don't really know what that means, and sometimes I don't bother to click on it. So I might have missed it that way. But this comes on standard black wax. Very nice, substantial vinyl. It is not advertised again for 180 gram, but it does have a very thick 180 gram feeling. And what I like is it has that original Sun classic paper label there, which is really, really neat. Now, this record has, again, that one track that I mentioned that I was familiar with, and then a bunch of other really good tracks. I've listened to this twice, and I am impressed. There's only one song on here that I feel like the audio is not good, and I'll talk about that. But everything else to me sounds crisp, clear, very well defined highs and lows. I'm just impressed with this. I think it sounds good, and it's a good introduction into blues. I liked every song on here. I didn't have one that I didn't like. You can definitely hear some of that early 50s influence as well as the blues. It's just very cool, and I really like that. So again, I love Little Blues. I've been up since 6 this morning, guys, so you'll have to forgive me. Little Junior's Blue Flames, Mystery Train, that was the song I was familiar with. But I also love Cool Down Mama by Lost John Hunter and his Blind Bats. I also really, really enjoyed Cat Squirrel by Dr. Ross, and We All Gotta Go Sometime by Joe Hill Lewis. So there was a lot of good songs on this. Now I do want to talk about the one song that I just felt didn't sound good. And I don't think that this is my copy. I've cleaned it. I used the anti-static brush. My needle's clean. I have made sure everything is all set, so it shouldn't be the record. Plus, this is a brand new pressing. It's not one that I got from a thrift store or flea market that's really dirty. So it shouldn't have a bunch of clicks and pops. However, Side 1, track 7, Big Walter Horton, Grandma Told Grandpa, has this really annoying click. And it's just a click, click. That's not my best way of doing a sound bite of that. You'll have to hear it on your own system. But it's not a crack and a pop. It's more of a click that just keeps happening. And it's like, it doesn't sound like dirt or debris like the normal crackle and pop. It just sounds like something that's clicking, and I don't know why that's there. I don't know if it's in the original recording. That's kind of my guess. It just doesn't sound right, and it's a little bit annoying because you're trying to focus on the song, but all your brain can focus on is that annoying clicking. So there is that, and then the track sounds a little muddy to me. It doesn't sound very clear. I don't know where its original music came from. I don't know if this was from it says from the vaults, but I don't know if that means if it was remastered or if it was an original master tape. I don't know, but the rest of the album sounds perfectly great. It's just that one song, which is not a big deal to me. Certainly very happy with this Sun record, and you should be too if you love the blues, or you're just looking to learn a little bit more about different types of music. And why not? $12, go support your local record store. I mean, right? This is fantastic. So I'm very happy with my purchases today. I think they were well worth it. I'm enjoying spinning them on my turntable, and I will be for years. I hope, again, like I said, you guys got what you wanted. Leave me a comment down below about records and what you got and what you're hoping to get. And I will see you this week for some awesome content on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. But for now, stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube.
That's why I go for that rock and roll